What's up, people? It's your girl Adeola. Real quick, please click the thumbs button before we go on. But seriously guys, for how long would the most populated African country, the giant of Africa, Nigeria, for how long would we continue to deprive young people of their fundamental human rights to education that they are paying for? Guys, Nigeria is the only country that I know where you get into a public college or university and you have absolutely no idea the day or year or month that you would graduate. It may be happening elsewhere, but Nigeria is the only country that I know. So if you're not from Nigeria though, I'd like to hear from you. How is it like in your country? Is it that when you enter university, do you automatically know when you would graduate? Do you also go on strike in your countries? I honestly don't know how it's like in so many parts of Africa. Do people also go in strike? Please, I want to hear from people from Kenya, people from Gambia, people from Ghana. Do you also go on strike? And not just those countries, by the way. Botswana, like, you know, wherever you're from, Tanzania, South Africa. Do lecturers go on strike in your schools? Are lecturers well paid or not? You know, it may be happening elsewhere, but Nigeria is the only country that I know. And this is happening despite the fact that you are paying your tuition. These students are the customers. They are customers. They are paying money for education. Many of their parents are struggling to pay their tuition. Some of these parents are taking loans. Some of these children are putting themselves through, yet they are not getting the education that they are paying for. In fact, these students are being made to feel as if they are doing them a favor. The government is doing its own. The professors are doing their own. The government is screwing up these students by refusing to renovate their schools. We have so many dilapidated higher tertiary institutions in Nigeria. Hostels dilapidated, classrooms dilapidated. Some classrooms are overcrowded. You will see students standing in class, standing to receive lectures. Do you know that even now in 2022, many of our government-owned universities and polytechnics and colleges of education don't have internet for their students on campus? No, that's a big deal. I know some people would think internet is luxury. It's not. As of 2003, we had wireless internet on my campus where I went to school. This is not right. Students literally have to find their own internet in so many of the schools in Nigeria. And then electricity is not stable. Students are still studying with rechargeable lamp in some places. Running water is still not stable. Students have to fend for themselves even though they are living on campus. This same government has refused to review the salaries and allowances of their lecturers for the past 13 years. This means that Nigerian lecturers are still getting paid what they were getting paid in 2009. Meanwhile, nothing has remained the same price since 2009 in Nigeria. For example, in 2009, a bag of rice was sold between 7,500 and 10,000 naira. Today, a bag of rice in Nigeria is between 15 to 30,000 naira, depending on your brand and location. In 2009, beans was sold for 17,500 naira. Today, it's about 34,000 naira for a bag of beans. A bag of gari was 6,500 naira. Now it's about 13,000 naira. The price of petrol in 2009 was 89 naira per liter. Today it is 166 naira per liter. The agreement that the Academic Staff Union of Universities had with the Nigerian government in 2009 was that lecturers' salaries would be reviewed every 3 years in accordance with the economic reality and the current dollar exchange rate of the time. But the government has refused to honor this, even though they signed it on paper. So the lecturers keep going on strike. Do you guys know that in the last 6 years alone, ASU, the Nigerian lecturers, they've spent 1 in every 4 days on strike? Who is suffering the consequences? Students. They have been denied education. This is different from the fact that during the COVID lockdown, these students had to stay at home. They just stayed at home. You know, a lot of schools in Nigeria could not transit to online learning during COVID because there's no internet. Once again, during Buhari's time alone, Nigerian students have spent 13 months, and we are still counting. It's not just 13 months. As of 2020, Nigerian universities have been on strike 15 different times since 1999. The Nigerian government is obviously not interested in meeting the demands of the lecturers in order to ensure that the students can get back to their classes. You know why? It's because almost every single Nigerian official has their children either studying in an expensive private school in Nigeria that don't go on strike, or have them studying abroad where they know the day that they will graduate from the day that they started school. And besides the fact that the government has refused to review their salaries, they are owing them. How can you not pay people people worked and you did not pay them for the work that they did? I don't know. Once again, I feel like Nigeria is the only country that I know where that is acceptable. A lot of these lecturers have not been paid. And so many of them, it's not just their salaries that were not paid. All their allowances have also not been paid for several months. Do you know that there are lecturers that were not paid for 13 months? That's more than a year. And do you know that there were lecturers that were not paid for 22 months? Just imagine working for 2 whole years and not getting paid, and you have bills to pay. It's so not right what the Nigerian government is doing to these lecturers, knowing fully well that it is not just the lecturers that are feeling the impact, but also the students. Now, as much as I pity the lecturers, and please, we're fighting for the rights of these lecturers, but as much as I pity them, it's not just the government that we need to blame. Some of these lecturers are also doing their own, especially when they are not on strike. I've seen cases where some lecturers will not show up to teach. In fact, I've seen a situation where a lecturer only showed up on campus twice in an entire semester. And you have lecturers that will tell you on the first day of the semester that nobody gets an A in my class. Some lecturers will even say, I only give A to God. Like, what's that? B is for whoever is exceptional. The rest of you can fight for C and D. What the heck is that? And I'm not talking about all the lecturers. So there are some God-fearing lecturers out there. So I'm not generalizing. But I remember vividly when I was in Nigeria, lecturers that would fail students for not buying handouts. The handout is literally photocopies of pages from the required textbooks that students are supposed to buy. And some lecturers would make photocopies of selected pages and sell it to students. Doesn't even matter if you have the textbook. If you don't buy from the lecturer, he fails you automatically. Keep in mind that some of these lecturers also have their children studying abroad. Those of them that can afford it, those of them that are well paid. Please don't get me wrong. I know that a lot of lecturers will say they are not motivated to teach. That's why some of them don't show up to classes, because they are not getting paid. I understand that. But in all of this, it is always the students that suffer. You know, this week, ASU just extended their strike for another 2 months. Here is a video of students protesting in February. This breaks my heart. In 2022, we're still here. I mean, of course, they went to the National Assembly. These students, they marched there, and they did not let them in. Wow. Now, please keep in mind that virtually all our lawmakers have their children studying abroad. And so they don't care about all the students that are protesting, and they don't care about education in Nigeria. You know, if these students that were protesting, if they could, you know, they would travel outside of Nigeria to get educated. And then, of course, they marched to the Ministry of Education. And that was where they met with the Minister of Education, Malam Adamu.
Honorable Minister, our message is so clear. We want federal government and ASU to find an equilibrium to meet as a matter of urgency to call off this strike while negotiation or anything else continue.
I'm so glad to see these students speaking out, fighting for their right.
At the end of every tenure, at the end of every 4 years, Honorable Minister, this is your thought, this is the second time in office. Your salary will be paid. Our parents also have that money to send us outside the country. But we are in this country, then we should enjoy what we are paying for.
But do you know what the minister said?
Perhaps the only point that you made that is worthy of even attention is you said students should be involved in this. And I think probably this is a very good thing. Thank you, sir. And it is the only thing I'm going to take out of what you have said here. Thank you very much.
Wow, wow. And just like that, he walked out on them.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever.
You can now see that we don't finish out. The minister that they are paying his salary. We don't finish out the state. We don't finish out the state. He walked out of us.
Guys, please pay attention to that video because it's not just the minister that doesn't care about these students. Look at those in the room with the minister, his officials. Did you see them telling the students to shut up? A whole minister of education whose sole purpose, the main reason this man is in office, in summary, is to ensure that students have their fundamental human rights to education from primary, secondary school and university level. Basically, this same man felt disrespected, that these students were asking for their right. At the same time, you must have seen that video. A House of Rep member, that is Honorable Sagois Ogun, is a PDP member representing Esan, Northeast Federal Constituency of Edo. This man sponsored a bill seeking to regulate international studies for the children of public officials and to strengthen educational institutions in Nigeria. And of course, the bill was not passed.
Seeks to ensure that a public officer who desires to send his or her child abroad does not divert public funds to so do.
The matter is put to vote and the bill is voted against.
Those in favor that the bill be read as a content say aye. Against say nay. The nays have it.
Wow. See these officials. These officials, they don't care because they have money to send their children abroad to study. And they're very proud to say it.
That bans each citizen, the public officers, from going to study.
So if I send my children to school abroad, have I in any way done any wrong?
The human rights is against my own rights. Most of us, before coming here, have our children schooling abroad.
Wow. By the way, where were the rest of them? Did you see how scanty the floor was? You know, in 2020, a member of the House of Representatives, Honorable Simon Karu from Gombe, revealed that each lawmaker gets paid 9.3 million naira every single month. In 1 year, that is more than 111 million naira. Okay? Please know that another lawmaker, Honorable Osai, said that number is not true. He said that they don't get paid as much. So we don't know who is lying. But what we know is that the minimum wage in Nigeria is 30,000 naira a month. That means that in a year, an average Nigerian gets paid 360,000 naira in an entire year, while a lecturer gets paid an average of 160,000 naira per month. Although, please keep in mind that some lecturers don't get paid that much in a month. Some lecturers get paid way lesser than that. Some of them get paid much more than that. Like some senior lecturers in Nigeria get paid between 3 million to 6 million naira in a year, while lawmakers get paid millions of naira every single month. And all you need to be a lawmaker in Nigeria is secondary school certificate. Wow. Don't you see that something is fundamentally wrong with this setup? Until we cut down the salaries of our lawmakers, they will not see any urgency in revamping our education sector. So in a situation where the lawmakers are getting paid so much and the lecturers, do you know what it means to be a lecturer? Like, before you can become a lecturer, at least you must have a degree. You must have gone to either College of Education or Polytechnic or university. And then before you become a professor, you must have even more degrees. You know, some people who have masters, PhD, before they become professor. All these years they spent in school. See how much they are getting paid. And once again, our lawmakers, all you need to become a lawmaker is secondary school certificate. So while we are trying to find solution to this ASU strike, especially as we go through the attitude of the Nigerian officials, because of course it does not concern them, I also think it is very important for all these people with big education in Nigeria. You need to start going into politics. You cannot just leave it to people that don't know the value of education. Imagine if we have several professors as lawmakers in Nigeria. I know a lot of you just want to be in academia. I know that. But sometimes we need your voices. You know, this is what I say about women representation as well. I say if women are not sitting at the table, they are not represented at the table, and they will continue to make decisions about women, and it will continue to affect them negatively because they don't get to have a say. The same thing with you, professors. For how long will you be going back and forth with the government? 13 years. It's been 13 years that you've been on this. Some of you professors, while you are professing, you know, in your schools, you should also start going into politics part-time. Then in your constituencies, some of you don't even know what is happening in your constituencies. Some of you don't even know who your representatives are. You need to start getting into politics. We need more educated people. It's so unfortunate that we are being ruled by uneducated people, starting with the president. He has has no clue. He doesn't even know the value of education. The man cares more about cows than human beings. You see what I'm trying to say? We really need to start encouraging all this. It's not a bad thing to get your education, but while you are done with your bachelor's, your master's, or what, even your PhD, start looking into politics as well. Don't say politics is a dirty game. Don't just leave it for people that don't know the value of human rights. They don't know the value of education. They don't know the value of women. They don't know the value of children. We cannot continue like this. I know elections are coming, but hopefully, even if it's one person that I'm able to get through today, we need to start participating in politics. And I really hope that someday Nigeria will get to the point where we would require at least a bachelor's degree for anybody that wants to contest for the position of a lawmaker, because I think when you are well educated, it really affects the kind of decisions that you make. I mean, look at that man, that lawmaker that sponsored that bill. He's a lawyer. He's well versed when it comes to human rights. It's because he's educated and his thinking is different from all these ones that are getting up and saying, my son, my daughter studies in America is my right. It's because he's well educated. That is why he can even sponsor a bill like that. In fact, this man should be praised because he also sponsored another bill that we will talk about another day. And that bill was to make it mandatory for Nigerian officials to be treated in Nigeria. And of course, they said no. But really, guys, let me know what you think about the long-term solution to this ASUU strike so that students won't have to keep going through this every single year. It's even traumatic. Do you know that some of these students were final year students? They were about to graduate and then this happened. It's so unfortunate. Many of them are being forced to stay home and we cannot continue like this. And so I'm really hoping that the government will give the lecturers what they want and for the students to get back to school. But at the same time, I feel like more Nigerians need to get involved in politics. You don't even need to be a lecturer to get involved. If you are educated, get involved in politics so that you can be at the table where decisions are being made about your lives or about the lives of your children. And if you are a student and you are watching me and you've been on strike, please try to get on the internet, try to sign up for some online classes. There are some schools that have free online courses. The same internet that you're using to watch me on YouTube, the same internet that you use to be on Facebook, on Instagram, chatting all day, you can just use that to take some of these free online courses. Please don't write me asking where to find them. Just Google free online courses. For example, I know that Harvard University has some free online courses like Introduction to Computer Science, Introduction to Artificial Intelligence with Python. Like if you want to learn about coding, they have free courses like Health Effect of Climate Change. I'm on their website right now, Harvard University, and we'll put this on the screen. Introduction to Game Development, Non-Profit Financial Stewardship webinar, Introduction to Accounting and Financial Statement. These are all free courses. There's nothing wrong if you start using your time to go through courses online, quantitative methods for biology, resilient leadership, food fermentation, the science of cooking with microbes, new ideas for non-profit leaders, Harvard Kennedy School Executive Education, the science of corresponding with busy people webinar, understanding technology, computer science for business professionals. These are just some free online courses by Harvard University. Once again, just go on the internet, on Google, just put in free online classes for college, and you will see so many free courses. Some websites would even list like free courses by schools. There's this website I'm looking at right now, 65 free online courses from the best US colleges, including Harvard, MIT, Princeton, Yale, and so much more. I'm just trying to say that instead of you just sitting at home and whiling away the time, you can even tell the kind of opportunity that will open up for you if you start taking these free online classes. There's a website that talks about 1,700 free online courses from top universities around the world. These things are free. All you need is internet. And it's not just about that. You can learn new skills also on the internet. And by the time ASUU is back in session, you don't feel like you wasted your time. As a matter of fact, you can pick up great skills by going online. So let me know what you guys think about this. Once again, please don't forget to click the thumbs up if you enjoyed it so that more people can see it. And I'm really sorry that it's such a long episode and it's just talking about the ASUU issue, but it's because we really need to talk about this. It's become ridiculous. Let me know what you guys think. You guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real. Before I leave, guys, please don't forget that SendWave is still the fastest way of sending money from the US, the UK, Spain, Italy, and Ireland on your cell phone, literally, to Nigeria, Ghana, Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. And they have the cheapest rate. So do not forget that you can still use SendWave to send money. My Nigerian people, when you send it through SendWave, they give them in dollars in Nigeria. Okay? So they can change it and get the black market rate, which is more than the bank's rate. And while we're talking about student issues, do not forget that if you're trying to leave Nigeria and you need your transcript to study abroad, because now everybody is trying to study abroad because the schools are getting worse by the day, please, you don't need to be going back and forth with your school and they're wasting your time. Just contact Help Me Waka. Help Me Waka will go there for you. They have representatives at every single university, every single polytechnic, every single college of education in Nigeria. They have people that will go to every single tertiary institution on your behalf and they'll get it out for you quicker than you would of your own. So please contact Help Me Waka to help you get your transcript or to help you run any kind of errands that you like to run in Nigeria and Ghana. Alright, y'all, it's been real and I'm keeping it right up in here. Don't forget to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and please click the thumbs up. Until next time, I'm gonna see you later. Peace out.